Hey there, Pisces. Welcome to your reading for, this is your July bonus reading, and we are going to jump right in here. So we are going to see what is going on for you at this time. We're doing just a Celtic cross, and you have the Devil coming up in your current general energies. I'm actually going to pull Oracle cards for this as well. You have this Loyal Heart card and this Between Worlds card. So some of you, you have the Judgment card kind of crossing that Devil. Well, it's not kind of crossing, it is crossing the Devil energy. So some of you, like, I'm not saying that you're stuck on the past, but you could be, there could be some sort of like past connection that you're thinking about, or there could be something that's kind of, going on here is what I would say. The good news I would also say, though, is that you have that Between Worlds card, which is like my favorite card in this deck, and or one of, I should say. I have a lot of favorites, but it, kind of says that you are between worlds. You are about to enter into a new world, and I kind of get that feeling here that once you kind of remove something that is toxic from your life, or just heal from something that was toxic, that you will be, this flamingo is going from like black and white to color, and you could be stepping into a much better time of your life, just in general. You have the Devil. The Devil is about like needing to release yourself from something that is toxic. Again, the crossing energy can be what hurts you or helps you in a Celtic cross, and having that Judgment card crossing the Devil is kind of like saying that the one thing that's like holding you back is your past. But again, this also does not have to be love, Pisces. I feel, just judging by the reading, that this could just be your past story, or doing things that you don't want to do. You have that Loyal Heart card, which is saying you need to be loyal to your heart, and having the Judgment card as your crossing energy, this could say that you need to kind of like move more towards your purpose. Again, I kind of get the feeling here just by, we see a lot of like work cards here. You end with the World, which is great, having the World as your outcome in a Celtic cross. But what I would say is, it's kind of like set up to, the reading is set up to say that you need to kind of like enter a new world, or you need to start a new cycle in your life. And so I feel there are things that you do or are doing in your life right now that you don't necessarily want to be doing. And I feel like you need to move more of your energy into your new story, is what this reading is kind of saying to me, to you. Next, in the area of what's on your mind, Seven of Pentacles. It's like you're thinking about working on something new. It's literally coming up in the area of what's on your mind, or what's on your, what you're thinking about. And the Seven of Pentacles, he's looking at what he has grown here on this card, these Seven Pentacles, and he's thinking, is the juice worth the squeeze? Is it worth it for me to do the work that I'm doing right now? Or is there something different or better that I could be doing? He's looking at the growth that he's experienced. But sometimes I feel that, especially because of your setup here, you go Seven of Pentacles to the Three of Wands. This is really saying to me in this reading that you've learned as much as you can from something, and now it's time to expand into the world with that World card. But the Three of Wands is a card of expansion and growth. But the Three of Wands also kind of like says, what are you waiting for? Clearly you are attached to something, and I feel it could be, again, part of your old story. It could also be like a job that you're attached to, a business, an idea. And, whatever this thing is, I just get this energy of something that's holding you back. And so I feel the Seven of Pentacles is saying there's a lot more growth with the Three of Wands as well coming up for you in the very near future, if you just kind of like make a change. Again, I feel the Seven of Pentacles always says to me that he's kind of grown one thing for a very long period of time, and he's learned everything he can, so it's like time for the next stage. In the area of your foundation, you have the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands is like the wounded warrior. Again, we do see some like toxic stuff here, so if you dealt with like a toxic person or something in the past, the Nine of Wands could say it's also time to open up to a new connection. Again, as I've said a million times to you, Pisces, it's a great, this summer is great for love in general. So if you want a new connection, I do feel like the Nine of Wands is saying it's time to open up. The Nine of Wands is also amazing for experimentation. So if you are working on any new projects or new ideas, I always say this is like my card of throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. So it could be a really good time for you to like experiment, try your new ideas, whatever the case may be. I've said to you recently as well, just, especially with Saturn going retrograde, what I would say here is, that I kind of get this feeling that you are feeling things from the past, especially like business or work failures, or times when people called you out in work or business. Those things could be kind of bubbling up underneath the surface, and they could be making you feel inadequate, in work or business, but really it's not true. Really, it's just the 10 years ago Pisces that is kind of bubbling up. And I think you need to kind of face those moments where you say, I'm not good enough, or, oh, my business failed 10 years ago, or, whatever the case may be. And then like, now is your time for redemption. Maybe that's a good way to put this reading. I mean, Judgment, Nine of Wands, what I'm feeling off of here. It's almost like it's redemption time for you, Pisces. Damn, that makes total sense. In the area of your past, you have these two cards here that say Scales. It says Justice, Documents. You also have this Witch. It says Magic, Curse on it. Again, if anyone did you dirty or anything like that, you could be, balancing your life out. I don't necessarily think you're getting justice, as in you're kind of seeing, like, I don't think you're going to necessarily see a person get karma or whatever the case may be. I don't even think we should worry about that or focus on that in the first place. So what I would say here is I feel like there's just justice coming in for you. You have the Two of Cups, and the thing about the Two of Cups with the Devil is that the Two of Cups to me can represent a stepping stone soulmate. So a stepping stone soulmate is usually a person where it's like you feel a very deep connection. You feel a very deep connection with the person, but really, if you look at the relationship, usually stepping stone soulmates come into our lives to remind us of where we've been. So usually, like, how do you know it's a stepping stone soulmate? Usually the person reminds you of something that you went through. So if you had money problems like 10 years ago, maybe you meet a person, you feel a very deep connection with them, but now they have money problems, and they are very similar to whatever you went through. So stepping stone soulmates, I believe, kind of come into our lives to remind us of what we've been through, and they're there to teach us something about that. And it could be something else. It could be, like a fear that you had that they have, or, something similar. And I kind of feel that's what's going on here, is that you dealt with a person like this. They could have been toxic, but again, they don't have to be. I don't think tarot has to be all drama, right? So they could have been, but they, really, they probably taught you something or reminded you of something that that you dealt with. And again, I would look at it, because by looking at that, recognizing it, and kind of saying, oh, I learned from this, and not doing it again in the future, whatever it was, or facing the fear, then that's how we grow. Next, in the area of your very near future, you have this Turkey spirit. It says, give with grace and gratitude. You have this Bee spirit. It says, sweet results await. So there are clearly, both cards of abundance, by the way. So there clearly could be some abundance coming in for you. But again, as I've been saying to you for weeks now, it's not going to magically happen, Pisces. I feel, Pisces, it's time for the rubber to meet the road, right? It's time for your redemption time. It's time for you to prove that you can do what you've been saying you can do for years. And again, there's no other. I think that you're going to feel amazing, if you go out and accomplish something big, or something that people have told you can't accomplish, or whatever the case may be. So I would get moving. That Bee spirit, they're also animals of community. And so I feel it would be a great time for you to make sure that you're surrounding yourself with people who lift you up, who support you, and, get rid of the rest. You have the Three of Wands here. Again, all about expansion in your very near future. The thing with the Three of Wands is that it's my card that says, what are you waiting for? It's a card where he's, really the true meaning of the card is that he feels like he's looking at the desert because that water is golden in color. But when he looks closer, he sees those ships, and he realizes that he's looking at the ocean. He realizes he is looking at water, and he could get on those boats, and he could go on an adventure. So I really feel it's time for you to kind of like go on an adventure. It's time for you to, go see the world, or do something new, or it's time for you to accomplish what you've always been wanting to accomplish. And yeah, it's going to take you places you've never been before, but this is probably a good thing. We even go like this, from the Nine of Wands to the Three of Wands to the Sun, and the Sun is the best card in the tarot. So I feel for a lot of you, it's time for you to like get attention or something like that. Over the next few months, you have the Knight of Swords. I just kind of feel like you want things to happen faster than they are. Like, is this a bad thing? No. I feel like what you are doing is you are building a solid foundation, which doesn't happen overnight. And, it's kind of like the feeling I get off this Knight of Swords is you're saying to yourself, like, why aren't things happening faster? Or why are things taking so long? Or, whatever the case may be. And I feel like the Knight of Swords is saying, like, don't, if you're having to force things to work, then they're not going to work. But if you're allowing things to work, then they're going to work. And I kind of get that feeling off the Knight of Swords where it's like, I feel like this is you trying to force certain things to work and force, the round peg through the square hole, and I feel this is saying, take your time, but also pay attention to what is actually working because I feel like you're going to fit in somewhere else that's much better. Next, in the area of your closest relationships, this is all relationships in your life. I feel like someone has their eye on you here, Pisces, so definitely new love potential. But I feel like this person isn't doing anything. Like if I just zone out, which is how I read, right? And people always say, "What are you looking at?" And when I go like this, and I always say, "The back of my eyelids," right? Because I have no clue what I'm looking at, but I'm zoning out so I can get a message. But I feel like this is a person. If I put myself in their shoes, it's almost like. It's like they see you. I feel like they see that you would be very good. You have the sun here, but they're not. I feel like at the moment they're just spying. So we're going to have to, look into what's going to happen in this connection, if anything, right? But I do feel that's a person who's interested. You have the sun coming up in the area of your future feelings. Amazing. Feeling good, feeling successful, feeling happy. I also feel like you're feeling more playful as well. This child here is your inner child. So I feel a lot of you, but I would also, embrace this energy. Like I always say, I don't think anything just happens in tarot. So yes, this is your future feelings, but I also think we should be doubling down on good energy. Again, the thing that changed my life the most is not just, hearing advice and just like kind of implementing it. The stuff that, the thing that changed my life is doubling down on the good stuff. And so I feel for a lot of you, this is saying like, yes, you're going to feel very good in the future, but also make sure to carve out extra time to go do things you enjoy. The universe is trying to tell you that you need to enjoy yourself more, and if you do that, you're creating more of this flow. You're not forcing things to happen with the Knight of Swords. So I would embrace the sun. But I feel like there's a lot of attention on you, and again, we see this really in the astrology anyway, so, and I talk about it all the time. There's a lot of attention for you, Pisces, if you go and get it. Your outcome here is the World. The World is, of course, an accomplishment, so there could be some big accomplishments coming in for you. I feel like the moments of doubt are coming in from the past, so you need to move, any doubt that you're feeling, I feel like you really need to like sit with yourself and say, is this me right now, or are these doubts just because of something that happened to me 10 years ago, right? And that's probably the answer. The answer is probably that it's just doubts from the past. You have this emotions card. It says focused on your love life instead of work. I don't think that's an issue here. I think you're more focused on work, so it could be the other way around. Maybe you're too focused on work and you need to be more playful. You have this leadership card. It says you're stepping into a role as a leader. World, sun, right here. It says you are ready. Your career will improve once you accept and step into your power. Seven of Pentacles is your old power. Seven of Pentacles is what used to work. I feel like everything else is kind of what you are moving towards, Pisces, and what will ultimately kind of create success for you over the next few months. So I would get moving. This is one heck of a reading, and again, I think it's redemption time for Pisces. You've told people the things that you're going to do with your life. You've told people your goals, wishes, dreams. Now it's time to accomplish them. And make people a believer, right? With the Devil and the Judgment card, you have the Three of Swords. Three of Swords can be heartbreak or forgiveness. I would be careful of a person coming back here who's like wanting forgiveness or whatever. That doesn't mean you shouldn't give them forgiveness, but I would be careful of like what they really want. The Three of Swords is also a card of healing, so I think it would be a good time to again just kind of release the past with that energy. With the Seven of Pentacles, you have the Sun. The Sun makes things grow, and the Seven Pentacles, he's planted these seeds and they are growing. So you have the sun twice, which really makes this reading very positive, really, really good. It also kind of says that there could be attention on your work as well. Maybe you're worried that you're not going to get attention on the work that you're doing, but I think there's a lot of attention on the work that you're doing or that you could do, if you got started. The other thing I would say about the sun with the Seven of Pentacles is if you're thinking about working on something new or different, or if you're thinking about starting a new project, the sun is like a spotlight. It shines a light and it tries to capture our attention. So you might find that your attention is being captured by, new ideas, new directions, and move in those new directions. With the Nine of Wands, you have the Knight of Cups. Yes, I feel like someone's trying to come in, and I would open up. Knight of Cups is like a knight in shining armor. So it could be a very strong connection or a person who, really wants to be with you. Believe it or not, Pisces. And I feel the Nine of Wands is saying maybe you need to kind of project a new energy. Maybe you need to project the energy of love if you want it in your life. So go do things that you love, your hobbies, the things that bring joy into your life, and you'll probably be able to attract something very quickly. With the Two of Cups, you have the Tower, yes. So definitely a Tower moment with a person. You could have had a Tower moment. This could have been some sort of shock to the system, or you could have been brought back down to reality very quickly. And the thing I will say as a Pisces is I think that Pisces can have a shock to the system in any area of life, but kind of like be strangely okay with it at the same time. And I get that feeling here where maybe you did have a shock to the system. Maybe someone, told you something, or, maybe an ex ghosted you or something like that. And it could have been very shocking, but at the same time, as dreamy as Pisces is, I don't know about the rest of you, but it's like, I think Pisces can come down to reality very quickly and kind of move forward. I feel like you've been stuck a little bit in purgatory here with this. So like, let's say you had something happen, a year ago in your life. It's like maybe since that time you've been in a very similar energy. And I feel like the reading is saying that like you've healed from that energy. You've seen the reality for what it is. And now it's time to step into the good stuff here by, stepping into this side. So I hope that makes sense. Probably not. With the Three of Wands, yes, the reading really wants you to pay attention to growth. Three of Wands says it's time to expand. Seven of Pentacles says, is the juice worth the squeeze? Is it worth it for you to do the things you're doing right now? Or, would there be something better for you to do in the future? Or is there a different direction you can move in? And so I feel the Seven of Pentacles is really talking about a change in direction, like we already said. With the Knight of Swords, you have the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, take your time, allow the wheel to spin. Funny enough, Wheel of Fortune is my card of really doubling down on the good stuff as well. But I do feel like your fortunes are turning in your favor. I kind of get this feeling here, like in this part, that you're a little bit worried about your finances or worried about where things are going. And I feel like the Wheel of Fortune is saying, well, really, things are fine. Things are going to improve. Things are improving. I feel like things are kind of coming together for you in your life as well. And you just need to keep moving forward, but also don't try to force things to happen. The Knight of Swords also is going towards the past in the reading. So I feel like the Wheel of Fortune is saying, nothing from the past. Keep moving forward. With the Page of Swords, you have the Queen of Swords. It's like this is a person slowly opening up. So like I said, I feel, she's cautiously optimistic. She's got her hand up. She's willing to receive, but she has her sword up as well. And so she's kind of like cautiously optimistic. I'm wondering if this is you. It's like, I'm wondering if a person sees you, but it's like maybe they can see that you're a little bit guarded or hard to read at this time. And I feel like this could be you willing to accept a person. We might have to pull an extra card on that. Yeah, you have the Four of Cups as well. It's almost like two people who have been disappointed in the past. So if I'm being honest, I have no clue where this is going to go for you, Pisces. Again, a person can have their eye on you, and if they never open up, obviously, you're never going to know. And I kind of get that feeling here. So I kind of feel like that's one of those things. It's like up in the air, but there could be a person who's interested. With the in the area of your future feelings, with that Sun, you have the Two of Wands. Two of Wands is about leaving a comfort zone. Two of Wands really says you need to get out into the world. He has the whole world in his hands there, so he needs to leave his comfort zone. And I feel like the whole entire reading is saying that you leaving something that you've been working on for a long time, the Seven of Pentacles, and creating an upgrade or moving towards something new or different. That's where your redemption is going to come from, like we said earlier. And the Two of Wands is really about taking the lead. And in this row, you have this leadership card. It says your career will improve once you accept and step into your power. The whole entire reading is saying it's time to unleash the beast, as I love saying, right? With the World, you have the Six of Swords. Yeah, moving forward, moving towards success. I feel like you're kind of letting go of the past. The woman and this child in this boat on the Six of Swords are completely moving on. They are completely releasing the past and kind of like starting over because they are looking for a new experience. And what do you know? You have this Elephant card that says, long journey, either physical or mental, will leave you wiser in the end. I feel like this is your last 10 years, and now it's time to implement what you've learned over the last 10 years for success. You have this Lily card. It says spiritual love on it. So there could be a very spiritual connection coming in for you here, and I feel like it's going to be really good. You have this bowl card. It says plenty of material things. So we know that your material success is definitely increasing. I feel like it's been a slow year, this like start to the year. You know, maybe your finances haven't been as good as you want them to or whatever. And I do see an increase here. You have this leg. It says stepping into new experiences, the world, Two of Wands, Six of Swords. You're definitely stepping into new experiences here. And I would just try things out. You know, I would just like try new things and see what happens. You have a stork. It says news of a birth or a new business opportunity. So there could be you. This I feel like this is you kind of creating something new in your life that could lead to, or where you could experience a lot of growth. But damn, I really like this for you, Pisces. Redemption time. I would say go for it, whatever big thing you're trying to do, because again, you will redeem yourself basically. But this looks good. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your month.